Hello, in this video I thought I would go over a few more examples when it comes to basic algebraic expansion. This is just to reiterate what was discussed in the previous video. So I've got a few problems here. For instance, we'll take number 1, where we've got x outside the brackets, right? And remember the key intuition when it comes to just understanding the basics of algebraic expansion is that to expand, you can expand an expression by multiplying each term inside the bracket by the term outside. Okay, so you're multiplying each term inside the bracket by the term outside. That's really what all you've got to remember. In addition to the distributive law, and we should be more than fine to carry on with these problems. So in this case, we have x times x plus 9. Okay, so you can look at it this way, where it's x times x plus 9. Right, we're distributing this x outside the brackets. So x times x is x squared. It's x squared because this amounts to x1 plus 1. Okay, so we don't really need to write that out. So x times x is x squared, and then x times 9 is going to be plus 9x. Okay, so that's quite a simple one, but let's do something a little bit different. Okay, in this example we have a negative 3x. Now what one has to remember here is that a negative sign outside the brackets changes the sign of every term inside the brackets. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, let's just work through this problem. This is a negative 3 times 7, a negative 3x times 7x. Okay, well 3 times 7 is 21, but it's going to be negative. Okay, it's going to be negative 21, and then x times x and x squared. Okay, and then we distribute it that way. Now we're going to distribute this negative 3x to this negative 4. Well, a negative times a negative is positive, so this is going to be plus. It's going to be 3 times 4 is 12, right? So this is going to be plus 12x. Okay, so you have to remember to watch for the sign outside the brackets. It's really important. To emphasize that point once more, let's work on this next problem. Okay, this is still quite different than what we've seen so far. So here we've got a few things to do. Okay, but first let's start by expanding. So we're gonna 7 times x, 7 times negative 2. Well, 7 times x, that's just 7x. 7 times negative 2, well 7 times 2 is 14, but again it's going to be negative, right? It's going to be negative 14. Okay, so we've distributed it, now it's going to be plus 3 times x, it's going to be 3x, and 3 times 4 is 12, so it's just going to be plus 12. Okay, so we've expanded that, right? Now it's going to be minus, right, that's negative 6 times x. Well, that's going to be minus 6x. Okay. Well, here in this brackets here we've got a plus 2. We've got x plus 2. But remember, this negative, when you have a negative sign outside the bracket, it changes the sign of every term inside. Okay. So this is going to be a negative 2, just like it was a negative 6x. So it's going to be 6 times 2 is 12, right? So it's going to be negative 12. Okay, so now we have all of this stuff here, and we can simplify first by identifying our like terms. We've got a 7x, we've got two 3x terms, right? So we can reorganize this a little bit. We have 7x plus 3x minus 6x. I'm just rewriting this expression up here. Okay, I want to identified our like terms. Now I just want to collect them. I'm going to reorganize this just to make it a little bit easier. And now we've got we've got 3 constants. Okay, so we've got minus 14 plus 12 minus 12. Well, these two cancel out, right? Plus 12 and minus 12, that's just 0. Okay, so we know that right off the bat, right to start. And 7x plus 3x, that's 10x. And 10 minus 6 is 4, right? So we're going to be left, all of this right here equals 4x. So we're going to be left with 4x minus 14. To cover one more example, let's say we have something. Yeah, I'll do one more. Let's say we have x plus 2 times x plus 4. Just keep it really simple. Okay, we're going to come across this quite a lot. Now, and one thing that actually I haven't covered is that expansion is the opposite of factorizing. Okay, so when you're factorizing quadratics, you're gonna come across an expression like this very often. But in this case, we're expanding, and often I believe the FOIL method is quite popular. It's widely taught, but we just have to remember the distributive law as covered in previous videos. Okay, this is just x times x times 4, and this can be 2 times x, 2 times 4. Okay, we're just distributing this x across both terms, and then this 2 across, so 2 times x, 2 times 4. So x times x, well, that's x squared. X times 4, that's just plus 4x. 2 times x, that's plus 2x. 2 times 4 is 8, so it's plus 8. Okay, we've got two x terms. So we've identified, we can simplify this, which should be x squared plus, and 4 plus 2 is 6, so it's just going to be 6x plus 8, and we're left with a healthy quadratic right here. And quadratics is something I'll cover in another series. Don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. So that's the basics of algebraic expansion. If you're struggling with it, I recommend you just practice it quite a lot, and you'll get used to it, and you'll be able to do it very quickly on the fly eventually. So yeah, that's it for this video.